Remember how in the introduction we first talked about content strategy? Now that you've made it this far and you have your goal, your persona, your content, and know how to use social media, it's time to revisit this concept and create your first user journey. But first, we'll have some review. What is content strategy? Simply put, it's getting the right content at the right time to the right person using the right platform or channel. It's about timing and care for the individuals who are reading, watching, or consuming what you're putting into the digital space. Now, what is a content journey? It's taking your user through a digital journey, step by step, going from one call of action to another. Content journeys encourage people to take steps in spiritual maturity or experiencing value from our organization. For example, if your user is looking to learn how to share their personal testimony, they'll find the page titles, Preparing Your Personal Testimony, very encouraging. Alone, you've satisfied what they're searching for, but the journey isn't complete. So instead of letting them come and go with one page, you can connect to an example of how to build your personal testimony step by step. Next, a video example of someone's testimony, and then a link to the evangelistic tool, God Tools, where they can learn how to share the gospel with their testimony, and that would be a great step. One article can instantly become a full journey with a little bit of planning. How do you build a content journey? Start with remembering who your persona is. You want to be as specific as you can be for who you want to read or consume your content on their journey. Take your easiest to consume content. That's what you'll post on social media or link in your email blast. Or make sure it's SEO friendly, which means search engine optimization. It'll turn up in searches. Then you'll ask yourself a few questions to build out the journey. Step 1. What's the best next piece of content that requires a slightly higher call to action than the first step? What's your user's motivation to take that call to action towards step 2? How are they growing in their walk with the Lord towards becoming a spiritually multiplying disciple through this journey? Step 2. What's the next best piece of content that requires a slightly higher call to action than the first step? What's your user's motivation to take that call to action towards step 3? How are they growing towards their walk with the Lord and becoming a spiritually multiplying disciple through this journey? Do you see a pattern? Repeat those questions for step 3. It's as simple as asking if your user will be motivated to keep clicking and if there's a value add in their spiritual walk. And then, boom! You've just built a content journey. Take some time to use the attached worksheet to plan out your first user journey. Be sure to fill in your persona audience info on the left-hand side and your goal on the right-hand side before you start putting in your steps. This will allow you to be sure that your steps correspond with your audience and your goal. Once you have it ready to go, it's time to implement it. If you're struggling to put the pieces together or you're unsure about what content to use, be sure to ask your questions in the Global Digital Strategies group on Workplace. We'd be happy to help you think this through. Take a minute. Congratulate yourself. You not only created your first user journey, but you learned the process. And now you can reuse this process time and time again to continue reaching new audiences. But you're not completely finished. We still have one more very important lesson left to help you fully maximize your content strategy. Be sure to go on to the next lesson about analytics.